he said something that was uncomfortable, which is, the Lakers are not built to win a championship. They're just not good enough, especially on defense. So last night, the Lakers hosted a really good team, probably capable of winning the championship, San Antonio, and they hosted them in L.A. And let's just say we should have a new segment on the show where Rich Paul was right. The Spurs didn't even have 7'4" Wemby, and they did whatever they wanted offensively. 50% field goals, 45% threes, 50 total rebounds, almost 50 points in the paint. That's without 7'4" Wemby. So this is shaking out, as Rich Paul predicted, and I have been saying since the start of the season. Even when LeBron comes back, the Lakers are bad defensively. Since LeBron returned, they're 26 defensively. They don't do anything right. Defend the rim, defend the perimeter, defend the point. So this is a team and roster with holes. And what happened last night? What did the Spurs attack? Oh, gritty Austin Reeves. Spurs players who were guarded by Austin Reeves shot an outrageous 63.5%. Oh, wait, that's what the Timberwolves did in the playoffs. Attacked Austin Reeves. A really good player offensively, works his butt off, cool story, gritty kid. But 40-year-old LeBron, gritty Austin Reeves, a marginally interested defender in Luka, is not a Western Conference Finals team in the West. They're a fun team. I love watching them. I mean, the crowds. Go to a Laker game. It's a cool crowd. It's fun. There's a lot of points. Unfortunately, good teams will score more. And hopefully, this is why it's so encouraging if you're a Laker fan, the owners of the Lakers who have moved off Cody Bellinger, Trey Turner, Manny Machado, Corey Seager, great players. But they go after Mookie and Freddie Freeman and Ohtani. The standard for the Dodgers isn't keeping a very, very excellent player like Corey Seager. It's getting Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, and Mookie Betts. Everybody loves gritty Austin Reeves. And 40-year-old LeBron, the future of this organization, two guys. Luka number 1, J.J. Redick number 2. Everybody else is available to move.
Yeah. I mean, he's right and he's wrong. First off, a lot of people were praising the Lakers as legitimate contenders, and now they lose a game and it's like, their defense isn't good, they can't get to they can't win a ring, and it's like, okay, well, that seems a little extreme. But the reality is that LeBron, Luka, and AR are they're all defensive liabilities to various degrees. They just are. And the reality is, and I pretty much like every LeBron video I make, every Lakers video when LeBron is part of the topic, I always bring this up because it's impossible not to. It really is. Even if I sound like a bit of a broken record, it's impossible not to. When you're in a 7-game series, LeBron's defense will get even worse, right? Because he just can't handle that intense 7-game series throughout the course after playing an entire season, or a bulk of the season, and then a physical, tough 7-game series where the refs allow a lot more contact, the speed, the physicality, and so that now LeBron struggles even more in that regard. And same thing with AR, because now you allow even more physical contact and you get to just blow right through it. It's just, and yeah, Luka's more engaged now, but I don't know if Luka ever truly becomes this great defender. And it's not like any of these individual players need to be special defenders, but they just need to be able to work cohesively, and just be able to disrupt offenses with a higher degree of consistency and reliability. And they don't necessarily, they just don't have that. And we've seen over the years, like, all these teams and how they're built. Lots of teams can still have defensive liabilities, but typically only like one, right? And in any given moment. If we look at the Warriors, Steph Curry, especially earlier on in his career, he definitely got better as the years went on. But, like, he was more of a defensive liability, and especially in the playoffs, they can just go after him etc., etc. But one, obviously, his production is through the roof. Obviously, we all know that. And what he does, not only just his scoring, like the individual points that he puts up, but the impact he has on the offense of him simply just being there and how it opens up things everywhere else. But then you have Draymond Green, an elite defender. Klay Thompson, an elite defender. Andre Iguodala, an elite defender. Right? Like you had these guys that were like, you can try to go after Steph all you want, but like, you better hope you shoot with like an 80% on him. Otherwise, you're not going to beat it. Like it's just not going to be enough. Okay. It's not going to be enough. And so, and the Warriors were also good at managing that and dealing with switches and pick and rolls. And, they were just smart. They understood how to coach around it as well. And so, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. And we've seen this happen even with Luka when he was even a worse defender now. I mean, back then, with the Mavs, you saw how much of an issue it was, especially in the playoffs. Like we saw it. And then we even saw it to a degree last season when he was with the Lakers. That was a different season too, especially because like he also kept getting called up and kind of like complaining to the refs and not getting back. Like he had a lot of those like iconic moments when he was just like, where you're just like, Luka, what are you doing? Stop complaining. You got to get back on defense. Like, what do you think is happening right now? And you would think with like a JJ Redick that will continue to get minimized the more he's under, his wings and being coached harder, has more time with him. And, when they actually are in the playoffs and whatnot. But it just feels like a tough spot. It just feels like a tough spot. And if you're going to be defensive liabilities, then you have to be absolutely explosive and just dominate offensively. And if you now had a prime LeBron James offensively, if you could just kind of do this like split where you have prime LeBron offensively, but still like older defensive version of LeBron James at this point, that would actually work because you would be able to overcome it. The impact offensively of LeBron and Luka and AR for that matter would be so overpowering. It's kind of like, yeah, we can kind of manage having two Stephs right now as long as we got Iguodala, Klay, and Draymond. It's not ideal defensively, but we got two guys who can literally just shoot all over this place right now. We're going to score so many points that it doesn't matter. Our only risk is when our shots aren't falling. We're going to really leave ourselves open for some losses here. But outside of that, and again, in a 7-game series, I like our chances of not going cold 2, 3, 4 games. You feel confident about that. And so it just becomes kind of a deal that you kind of have to make, but there's no real easy answer when you're trying to work around someone who is just a true liability like an AR, or someone like LeBron who you're obviously managing his age, and Luka, who's obviously a superstar in his prime, but defensively he's just he just doesn't have it. He doesn't have the willingness as much as like a Draymond Green. I don't think anyone cares more about defense than Draymond, but he also seemingly just doesn't even have, I don't want to say the body, but just the instincts, the speed. Like it's just, Luka's so interesting because he's obviously an elite athlete, but he also gives you that like, I'm just playing at a rec center vibe as well. And it's like, people are too quick these days offensively. They're too smooth. They're too smart. They understand how to work around it, where it's just like, if you're playing inferior opponents, yeah, you can kind of just use your body and your length just to kind of do majority of the work, but it's just not going to work against a well-coached team, and especially a talented roster like, which is obviously use the gold standard example right now, OKC, right? Like it won't work. It just won't work. You're gonna need high level, well-coached defense and intensity to be able to take down some of these higher powered offenses, well-coached offenses. Again, OKC really being the gold standard. And, if you want to use the Spurs as an example, for sure. It can work against a team like the Sixers, who are really young, and you have someone like, Embiid, who's in and out of the lineup, minute restrictions, Maxey is a smaller player still trying to figure it out. They're relying on a rookie Edgecombe who's trying to figure it out, right? Like they're relying on guys who are, not quite there yet. And so again, you can get away with it. The well-coached teams, the rosters with a lot of talent, it's just you got to be on offensively. You have to be on offensively. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Los Angeles Lakers? Do you think that this defense will be their true Achilles heel and will hold them back? Or do you think it's something that they can kind of evolve, work around, figure out? Or do you really think it's just like, nope, you're going to have to move on from AR and LeBron and just build all around Luka, and that's what it is? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.